this is the first time you've seen the crowd and came out?
Yeah, so I got here a few hours ago. Got here a little after 9. It's really cool. It's good energy, good venue, good vibe.
Yeah, that's what we know. Obviously, you know, the West Coast, you know, it's, you know, I mean,
it was what it was.
It wasn't the greatest crowd.
I'll say this though about that crowd, the energy even being there for the amount of people that were there.
Yes.
They were great, and the people who were there loved it. The fans loved it. I think that's more of the mechanism of the venue than anything else being so special. But for the day I was there, I felt like it, even though there wasn't a lot of people, is still, well, and here's the deal too, it's just such a large venue for the amount of people that did show up. You know, 1,500, 1,000, whatever it was on the day I was there. Kind of dwarfed by the 7,000 person capacity stadium.
Yeah. But then you come to a place like this, and I mean, I think the reason why it's a little bit better attended than past years is the community aspect. There's a lot of local teams within driving distance. I mean, do you think would you say that's a fair assumption?
Yeah, for sure. I think that, so when we went from regionals to then sanctionals and then now semifinals, what regionals captured that we haven't exactly captured since was kind of this regionality aspect of it that is significant to people. And meaning, so there were 7 or 8 at times, even more at other times in Northern America. So everyone that was going to be at an event was definitely like coming from a local area. I think here, because it's more East Coast, you kind of have some of that going on where people are able to drive in a little more. There, you know, when you have people qualifying from Canada, and I guess you have that here too, but when you have people coming from a really wide area, the amount of local athletes to actually bring in a lot of that local feeling, probably a quarter were from Southern California, maybe even less. I don't know the exact numbers. That'd be interesting to look at. Like Jamie Hagaya was from LA, and she had her big little following. Now imagine having 15, 20 of Jamie Hagaya's. Interesting thing on Invictus, though, I didn't feel like they showed up like they used to in the past, where like Invictus in San Diego, there'd be a ton of people there. But again, it was at regionals. It was all California based. And then Invictus even had people like Josh Bridges, so they had stars minus just teams. And so for sure. So going to 2 semifinals like we have now in North America, it's not the best expression of this. It's an expression that had to evolve from where we were at the time in terms of running events and how many we take on. And I also, to be honest, am not a fan of like how many people qualify. Really? That's kind of anticlimactic. Yeah, like when a whole heat at the end of the day is qualifying, if we're in a better position with these, I think there should be more across North America, and I think there should be less amount of people who actually qualify per event. And the top athletes should be more distributed across a handful rather than being concentrated at 2.
Now, regarding going to the competition, actual competition, how do you think the tests, the events, whatever you want to call them, I know you like calling them tests, but I guess they're listed as events here. How do you think they've been played off? I think they've been, especially on the individual side, they've been a great test, a great event. Are you pleased by how they've shaped up, and do you think the fittest people are coming out of these semifinals?
Yeah, for sure. I think they're doing exactly what they need to do. They're finding the right people to advance, and there's nothing that's, if you're not advancing through this programming, it's a fault of your training, not a fault of the programming. You know, like this is getting the right people to the next stage. And so it's a comprehensive test of fitness for sure.
One last question. The future of the semifinals. Is that stage still, obviously you mentioned something about tweaking, seems like every year was tweaking something, improving it. Is the semifinals something that you would like to keep around? And if so, if not, what would you like to see in place of semifinals?
I have ideas. We have big ideas on how it could evolve to a different model. Are we ready for that now? Potentially not. Maybe. I think this model here, there's an evolution of it that's necessary if we were to preserve it. If we were to stay with the semifinal and do semifinals again, I think we're operating a model that is at the 60-yard line and not at the 99-yard line with this format. And again, it's some of the stuff I mentioned at the beginning. Like, I don't think two events in North America is the right expression of this, but it's where we kind of are. It's how we've evolved to this from, you know, being on our heels often in the last few years and trying to climb out of that. So there's also radical expressions of what next year looks like that are potential areas we might take this that look nothing like this. So the actual decision yet has not been, it's not final, but there could be an expression where it's like this with some tweaks, or where it's a little different or a lot different.
Yeah. Cool. That's all I got.
All right.
Cool. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot.